Hey guys, Ogi here and welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and let's talk about the campfire chat that just happened earlier today. What's changing, all the buffs coming, there is some good things, and what do you guys think of it all? This is just going to be a short little summary of some notes I took while the campfire chat was happening. I had a little notepad up and typed everything up that I could think of that was meaningful. So far for me, out of 10, I would give this one a 6.5, maybe a 7 out of 10. What do you guys rate this one out of 10 in the campfire chat if you guys did watch it, or maybe after the end of watching my video right now on the summary of everything? Give it a rating out of 10. Chuck down below in the comments. Let's see what everybody has. I'll also do a poll on my channel soon, so come join the channel, subscribe to the channel so you can get in on that action, and join the Discord down below as well. Express your thoughts in the Discord, or just come play some D4, or just chat about games in general there. It will be really cool to have you guys there. But without further ado, let's hop into it. Covering patch 1.1.1, Sorc and Barb buffs was the main point of this. And they did have there that every class was getting a little bit of buffs. So let's just go over what I have from the beginning. They're going to focus on the Kiss Curse mechanic, trying to reduce it. So what that means, an example that they were giving is the Hydra aspect on Sorc will no longer decrease. Instead, it will increase the time that Hydras can stay alive. So you guys all know the aspect of that one. You can summon an additional Hydra, but the time that it stays out is reduced. Now you can summon an additional Hydra, and the time is increased. So instead of giving you a curse, you're only going to get a kiss. You know, that's pretty good. Step in the right direction. I like that. And they'll be looking at increasing the survivability of the Sorc across the board. They then later showed some patch notes. Well, these are not confirmed yet. We will be receiving the patch notes on the 2nd of August, as we have down below here, and then we'll actually be getting the full patch on the 8th. So we'll get more into that as we go down. They're just going to increase survivability across the board on the Sorc. And then for the Barb, they're going to increase the Fury gen across the board as well on pretty much all your skills. Fury gen is going up by like 1, 2, maybe 3 on some skills. But if you convert that over to percent based, that's quite a lot. So it is like a nice little increase there. They're going to make their uniques better. An example was the old version, I think it was the Hellbender or Hellbinder or something, the upheaval one. They're going to change one of the stats on there. I think it's like damage to crowd control or something. They're going to change that over to crit damage. I mean, that's not really that much of a big change. It's not going to literally make people, you know, play with it now because it has crit damage over that. They need to really change something more in the unique. So for me, the unique change on the Barb really wasn't that exciting, or even all the unique changes. I mean, it's a step in the right direction. So they're replacing bad stats on uniques with like more sought after stats and better stats, but they need to just completely rework some of their uniques, in my opinion. So, but they are trying to change the uniques and make them better. As we go on further, they're increasing the effectiveness, I can't spell, I know, of all uniques across all classes. So we'll be having a look at all of them, and that was all in their little mock-up patch notes as well, which we will be seeing all the actual patch notes next week. So stay up to date for that. Trying to increase aspects so it's not so focused. An example is chain lightning aspect will give you increased damage from bouncing on anything, not just you. They want to make aspects more open so that it's not just focusing on one very specific thing, trying to make it like affect a larger school of things, and, you know, have more build diversity by giving your aspects more power across the board and just like a wider range. So before the chain lightning thing would have to bounce back on you to increase this damage. Now its damage is going to increase when it bounces on anything. So mobs, I believe, probably scenery as well, and everything like that. Just a little change there. I mean, that's good. I like that. They're going to bring different types of damage closer together. Example, vulnerable and crit are being so much high and above everything else. I want to try and bring everything else up as well. So like dot damage, bleed damage, overpower is also mentioned as well in there somewhere. Just to make it so that vulnerable and crit damage is like not the end or be all, to give us more options and have more damage types that actually work well. And then while we're on that point, they're going to add scaling to builds and effects that don't work in the late game. An example is the Earthquake or the Dust Devils from the Barbs, and the Necros would be the Shadow Puddle. It's probably one of their Corpse Explosion puddles or some kind of a puddle you put on the ground, maybe the Blight Puddle, where it doesn't really scale that well. Like early game, sure, it does a lot of damage, the Dust Devil, the Earthquakes, but then later on into the game, especially higher Nightmare dungeons, then the scaling just drops off tremendously on these and they pretty much become useless. as well as ultimates. in the beginning or in the early game, ultimates are really strong when you use them as like a map clear. They just kill everything. So like Grizzly Rage, I mean Grizzly Rage stays strong all the way through on Druid, but let's not talk about that. Maybe something like what's it, Cataclysm on the Druids. That also does really good early on, but then later on you only really use it for utility, as with the new Malignant Heart you can use it to pull stuff in, but other than that you don't feel excited using your ultimate. So that's a little thing that I'm going to be working on. We'll see how that all goes. And then monster density change is in 1.1.1. This is actually my favorite thing about the patch. Let's just go ahead and mark this like this. This is my favorite thing. This is what gave it an extra 1.5 for me. If it wasn't for monster density, I would rate it like a 6 or something. With monster density, I give it like a 7.5 out of 10. Because that's all I really care about, is just mowing down mobs of enemies. And all my builds are really like AoE and strong. And I don't want to walk between packs and just, take like a scenic route, walking for 10 years before I see anything, before I see any action. So that's really good. I like that. They showed a screenshot of it and it looks substantially better. I'd say probably at least like 50% more density. It looked pretty good. And they'll keep adjusting and changing this if it's needed. So they don't really want us. That also ties into experience. Right now, nothing is being changed with experience in 1.1.1 because they first want to see how the monster density affects this change. So we'll see how that affects it, because obviously more monsters means more XP. So indirectly XP will be getting buffed because of that. And then let's move on down to one that you guys will probably all be really happy about, is this stuff over here. So the boss's health, well obviously minus that first part, but that's just to get us in. So bosses' health will be being boosted in Multi 3 and 4. But at level 35 plus, they will give a guaranteed legendary. I mean, they do already in Nightmare Dungeons, but maybe now they'll give an extra one. Or maybe they meant this in like normal bosses from like open world content or dungeons, not Nightmare Dungeons. But yeah, anything above 35 that is a boss will give a 100% guaranteed legendary. That includes treasure goblins now will start giving guaranteed legendaries at level 15 and upwards. So as soon as level 15 or as early as level 15, and if you find a treasure goblin now pretty much any time, you'll get a guaranteed legendary. Very nice. Butcher also has a 100% drop chance for a legendary past level 35, and then Legion events will also give a guaranteed legendary plus level 35. So pretty much just giving us more rewards from beating bosses, Legion events, treasure goblin, Butcher, just more reason to actually stop and kill them. As we all know, the treasure goblin, they actually said that the treasure goblin's legendary drop chance was at 50%. So it's like a flip of the coin, 50-50, whether you'll get one or not. But obviously, since you don't really find that many treasure goblins, it's a much smaller chance at rolling the coin and actually getting the legendary from them. So that's a nice little change. Or just when you hear the treasure goblin now off the map or off screen, or if you see the little icon on the minimap, you want to run after it and chase it down, as it will give you a guaranteed legendary now. Respecs will be reduced by 40%. That will be in the patch. We'll get our one stash tab will be added. It's going to cost 400k. They said over there 400k gold, as it's the 4th stash tab, and currently they go 100, 200, 300, and then the next one will be 400k in the stashes. Elixirs will also stack to 99 to help with that, although I've never really gone past an elixir stack rate, so I don't even know what they stack to right now. Probably 10 or 9 or something is my guess. But let's move on. Leave dungeon will be reduced to 3 seconds. They gave a whole lengthy explanation about how this all goes. Long and short, they'll be reducing it to 3. It was 3, then it got nerfed to 5. Now it's getting buffed back down to 3. So 3 seconds for leave dungeon. Reworking nightmare affixes. Basically, they will be removing resource drain, cold enchanted, and backstab as being removed in 1.1.1. And then obviously they will return at a later date to actually rework those and make them feel better. Because right now, if you see like pretty much any of these, well, the only one I really care about on my current build is cold enchant. Well, not even that, because I have permanent unstoppable. So my unstoppable dynamite druid, I will have a build coming out for it pretty soon. Literally doesn't care about any of this, and it can be like 30-40 levels above me, still doesn't care. That build is insane. We'll be sharing with you guys pretty soon, so stay tuned to the channel for that one. Patch notes on August 2nd and the actual patch on August 8th. Questions and answers. They'll be working damage resistance and armor to not only stack one that is inherently better than anything else, but also not to make resistance too strong so that you can only stack one and not have to worry about that element anymore. So a good example and why it's taking so long to rework these resistances is they need to find like a good balance. For example, if you go face a boss that has high fire damage, or he does fire damage, right? So then you just go and stack full fire damage, and now you don't take any damage from him. So if like Uber Lilith only did poison damage, or if her waves, I guess, if those get counted as maybe physical damage, then you could just overstack physical damage and you could just face tank all the waves. I want to make sure that they don't have something like that happen. So that is why it's taking so long for them to work on this. But they will be working on resistance and everything, as right now armor and damage resistance, or yeah, damage resistance is better than everything else instead of elemental resistances, is why they want to look into that. And mounts, they want to make them feel better, especially controller with boost, looking at fixing where the mount will get stuck on things. Barricade, we all know the mount getting stuck on the barricades are not fun. So they will be looking at fixing mounts and making them more streamlined, but nothing in this current patch. That is a future patch, so soon TM. Memory leak VRAM issues are being fixed in 1.1.1, so we'll see if that is actually like a full-on fix, but they said a lot of the issue has been resolved with that memory leak and VRAM issue. Overpower was meant to be unique damage type, different to crit. Scales with very tanky character, has a baseline of 3%, and obviously overpower will be indirectly buffed with mob density. I put that in as my own little note, as if you play a druid, then you know you can get the obsidian power or whatever it's called, the bottom snake passive on the left from your snake, your spirit bones, there we go, where every 20th kill will give you an overpower. I believe the mob density change is going to make pulverized druid even stronger, so if you are into the pulverized druids, go check out my pulverized build. I just put it up like 2 days ago, and yeah, I think overpower is going to become a lot stronger. But anyway, the point of this note was that they were trying to work overpower to be something unique, you know, so it's different to crit and vulnerable, all that stuff, something that you can chase after, but you can't really, because it's obviously you can't increase it unless it has like the overpower thing on the druid. That's why I say with the density on the 20th kill you get the guaranteed overpower, or the necromancer also has the guaranteed methods of doing overpower. So they want to change that or make that somehow that you can actually make builds focused around overpower. So that was over there. And then zooming in and out of your character, maybe will be talked about in another campfire. So no yes, no, soon TM on being able to zoom out on your character some more. Any options for further customization? Yes, eventually. But right now they're going to be focusing on buffs and game balance before they focus on any more customization things. But later down the line, they will definitely be doing that. And they'll always be adapting and updating things as we go forward to make everything fun and just better for the players, as they really take into heart our feedback, is what they say. I kind of believe them. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think of all this. My overall thoughts for this, like I said, 7.5 out of 10. It's looking good, definitely positive. And also the buffs across the board, everybody else got buffed as well, just to let you guys know. None of that was final, but from what they did show us, Necromancer minions got buffed, Druid minions got buffed, and also, what's the other class I'm missing? Rogue got something buffed on one of its range things and some other stuff as well. So every class did receive a little bit of love. Obviously Sork and Barb were the main focus for this patch. But that is it for this video. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, please drop a like and a sub to the channel. Helps me out so much, and I will catch you beautiful people in the next one. August and out.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the